Let's get started. Still demos going on, right? Still introductions are going on. That is why people are still not joining. Okay. Yeah. So they join. So or else we can provide recording also, right? Fine. Yeah. So we already completed three demos, right? First demo is DevOps introduction. Second demo is question and answers, and third one is yeah, DevOps, AWS introduction, which is a cloud introduction. So, what is cloud? Why cloud? What is the importance of cloud? Why the project teams are looking for cloud platforms? What are the costs? What are the advantages of cloud? What is cost saving? Right. So, these are all we covered. Right. Yeah. So, today we are going to discuss about SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. So, this is very, very important before going to tools, before going to work on cloud platform. First, we need to understand this. Okay. Yeah. So before going to this, anyone having any questions on previous sessions? Also, anyone newly joined today? Anyone newly joined today? Can you share your WhatsApp number and email address in the chat? So my mobile already shared with you 96422 Yeah, today only the introduction. So tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the basics. So what is server, what is network, what is switch, what is router, what is load balancer. So these basics will be started from tomorrow onwards. Okay. Yeah. So today also this is a DevOps lifecycle process, software development lifecycle. So this is very very important for DevOps and cloud engineers. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Let's get started. SDLC, right? So currently we are working on Agile methodology, right? Agile. What is Agile, anyone? Agile is a parallel development, right? So earlier we used to use waterfall methodology. So by the time, yeah, so when the development team starts project development, so they used to take minimum 1 year, minimum 6 months to 2 years, 3 years like that, right? So currently, so the project teams, yeah, they are every project team they're using Agile methodology. Agile is nothing but it is a parallel development, right? So in parallel development, so parallelly the activities will be performed, right? So parallelly means so in parallel development we create sprints. What is sprint? Sprint is nothing but timeline as per the sprint, as per the timeline, right? The requirement should be completed, right? Yeah, as for the sprint can be 1 week to 1 month, right? So it would be so for example, one sprint started today, by next Monday EOD that should be completed. That is 1 week sprint, right? So 1 month sprint, yeah, for example, 2nd Jan, today one sprint started. So by 1st Feb, the sprint should be completed. That is monthly sprint, right? As per the project team requirement, the sprint will be designed, right? So normal in real-time projects, every project team always they check the requirement gathers first. Okay, so as per the requirement, they design the sprints. Okay, for example, see here. So these are the stages. These are the stages in Agile, right? Agile stages. Fine. Yeah. See here. These are the detailed stages. Fine. So plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate. Right. 7 stages. Fine. Now let's try to understand the stages. Yeah. SDLC, software development lifecycle. Okay. Fine. So normally in real-time projects, so as a DevOps engineer, as a cloud engineer, so we need to coordinate with the different teams, right? So development team, testing team, build and release team, right? As a DevOps engineer, we need to coordinate with all the teams, right? Yeah. So in SDLC, Developer develop the code in their local workspace, right? So developer always they work on their local workspace, right? So this is local workspace. What is workspace? Anyone having idea what is workspace? Anyone having idea what is workspace? Yeah, workspace is nothing but so where we start our where the developer starts their work, right? Where they start their development, right? Yeah. So developer develop the code in their local workspace, right? So we are not developers, we are DevOps engineers, right? So we don't do any development activity in real-time projects. We always work on automation activities, and also we work on tickets, we work on integrations, we work on monitoring, Jenkins monitoring, Kubernetes monitoring. These are the roles, right? So developers work on their local workspace, which is nothing but local. We can say this is a local Git. Okay. So local workspace, they create local workspace and they convert it into one repository, which is nothing but Git. Okay. Yeah. So this is developer A and developer B. Both are working on same requirement. Both are working on same requirement, right? So they develop the code, they test the code, they modify the code in their local Git. Okay. So once development is completed, testing is completed, they push the code to remote repository. The code should be moved to a remote repository, which is we can say GitHub. So or else remote repo or GitHub. Okay. So basically what is Git? What is Git? We discussed already. So in the first session we discussed already, right? So what is Git? Git is a Git is a repository tool or version control tool. Git is a repository tool or version control tool. What is repository? What is repository? Right? Git is a repository tool or version control tool, right? What is repository? So where we store our data, where we store our source code is nothing but repository, right? It can be any data, it can be binary files, image files, video files, audio files. Where we store our data is nothing but repository, right? So normally developers store the data in their local Git, right? Yeah. Next one is version control. What is version control system? What is version control tool? So here there is some comments, parameters like who did changes, when did changes, and what purpose did changes. So based on these comments, these are the parameters. So when we talk about version control, so these are the parameters. Who did changes, when did changes, what purpose they did changes, right? Who did changes? For example, Ram did changes. When did changes? By 8 p.m. IST, 8 p.m. IST, yeah, on second Jan 24 at 8 p.m. IST, it did some changes, right? So what purpose did it changes? What purpose did it changes? Due to some prod issue, due to some production issue, did some changes, right? Yeah. So normally this version control system will help you to track the changes. For example, in our project, we are 10 members developer. Yeah, team size is 10 members. Okay, in which six developers are there and four DevOps engineers are there. Okay, developers develop the code, so six members they are working on coding part, right? So one person is working on front end, second person is working on back end, third person is working on database development, right? So others are working on some plugins and fixes issues. Okay. So who did what? How can we identify? by using version control system, we can identify the changes. We can track the changes, right? So, for example, in Java, thousands of lines code will be there, right? Thousands of lines code will be there in Java. So one person developed the code today. So after 1 month, he come back and he went on leave. After 1 month, he come back and check. He may not understand who developed this code because, yeah, in Java, thousands of lines code will be there, right? So if we configure a version control system, this will track the changes. Who did changes? When did changes? What purpose did changes? Based on this parameters, we can easily identify. So when the changes are committed here, when the changes are modified, one commit ID will be generated. In that commit ID, the person name will be available. The timestamp will be available. What purpose did the comment will be available, right? So based on that, we can easily track the changes. You understand, right, everyone? So in local repository, local Git and remote repository, so what will happen? So developer develop the code in their local Git. Once development is completed, changes are completed, they push the code to GitHub, which is the remote server, remote repository. So Git and GitHub both are same. Git is a local repository, GitHub is a remote server. Clear, right, up to here, everyone? Yeah. Next one is Next one is, so once the code is pushed to a remote repository, our code is here, right? So we are talking about SDLC, right? SDLC in Agile, how the deployment will be happen, how the code will be deployed onto production. So we are trying to understand, right? Yeah. So now the code is available in the remote server, which is GitHub. So in parallel development, so in parallel in Agile methodology, we don't push manually, we don't pull manually. By using DevOps tools, we can operate this, right? We can deploy the code. Fine. Yeah. Now once the code is moved to GitHub, our next tool here is in the flow. The next tool here is Jenkins. This is Jenkins. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. In DevOps, we have multiple tools are there, right? So different tools are there, different functionality, right? So all the tools are individual tools. One tool will not communicate other tool. In DevOps, we have multiple tools are there. All the tools are individual tools. One tool will not communicate other tool, right? So Jenkins is a mediator tool. It will integrate all the tools. It will communicate all the tools by installing plugins, right? So for example, here our code is in remote server, remote repository, GitHub. This code I want to deploy onto production server. If you want to deploy this code onto production server, so how can we deploy? By using Jenkins, right? So Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. So we can integrate all the tools with the Jenkins. How can we integrate? For example, I want to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins, for which what I will do? First, we need to integrate GitHub with the Jenkins. How can we integrate? By installing plugin. So GitHub plugin we can install on the Jenkins. We can install GitHub plugin in the Jenkins. Once we install this plugin on Jenkins, what will happen? Then Jenkins will start communicating with the GitHub. So every tool when you want to integrate, so plugin required here. So Jenkins is having all the plugins. We can install plugins on Jenkins so that the respective tools will be integrated with the Jenkins. Okay. Yeah. Once we integrate by using plugin, after that we need to prepare jobs here. Right. So for example, my requirement here is I want to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins. Right. For which what I will do here, I prepare jobs, I trigger the job. Once I prepare the job, if I trigger the job, what will happen? So once I trigger the job, this code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. Okay. So this code is a raw code. We can say this code is raw code. Raw code. What is raw code? So raw code is nothing but it is a unstructured code, unformatted code. So raw code will not understand by application servers. So this code should be deployed onto, finally this code should be deployed onto application servers or web servers, right? Yeah. So now we received the code from GitHub to Jenkins. So this is a raw code. We can say this is raw code. Raw code is nothing but unstructured code, unformatted code. There is no proper structure here. So this raw code we cannot directly deploy onto application server. Here we have application server. This is a, we can say, app server, or we can say Tomcat server. App server, or we can say Tomcat server. Okay. So this code, whatever code we received from GitHub to Jenkins, which is a raw code will not understand by application servers. That is why this raw code directly we cannot deploy. So that is why we can integrate one more tool, which is Maven. So here we have one more tool, which is, we can integrate one more tool, which is Maven. What is Maven? What Maven will do? Maven is a Maven is a build tool, or we can say project management tool. Build tool or project management tool. So what Maven, yeah, Maven is a build tool or project management tool, right? What Maven will do? What Maven will do, right? So Maven generates artifacts. Maven will generate artifacts. What is artifact, anyone? Artifact is nothing but archive file. It's a binary file like zip file, tar file, jar file, war file, whatever files. Okay. Yeah. So Maven is a build tool which will generate artifacts. Okay. So artifact is nothing but archive file. So for example, yeah, when we talk about artifacts, for example, here our development team is working on some application development. Okay, application development is happening here. So here, normally application development, three types of development will be there in real-time projects. Three types of development. Okay, so first one is desktop application. Second one is web application development. Web application development. Third one is enterprise app development. Three types of developments are there here. Okay, so desktop application development, web application development, enterprise application development, right? So when the development team develop this application, for example, desktop application developed by development team. Okay, for example, this is a Java application development. Java application development. Okay, yeah. So this development team developed this desktop application. So when the development team is developed desktop application, Maven, what it will do? It will generate jar file, jar, right? It is a Java archive file, right? So Maven generates jar file, Java archive file, right? Yeah. So if the development team developed this, for example, normally three types of applications will be available, right? Desktop, web, and enterprise. So for a desktop application, jar will be generated. So what is desktop application? For example, so I have a calculator. In my laptop, I have a calculator. So this is the desktop application. This will work in my local laptop only. This will not work in internet, right? So for example, I cannot access your calculator. You cannot access my calculator. This will work in my system only, right? So this we can say desktop application. Desktop, local, it will work in the local laptop or desktop only, right? So next one is web application. So if the development team is developed web application, so Maven generates war file, web archive file, web archive file, right? Yeah. So what is web archive file? What is war file? What is web development? So that can be accessible through internet. So we can host on the server. That application we can host on the server. So desktop application we can host on the laptop or desktop. Web application we can host on the servers that we can access through internet, right? Yeah. So for web applications, web development, so this will generate, Maven will generate WAR file, web archive file. Next one is enterprise application development, for which so Maven will generate EAR file, EAR, enterprise archive file. So based on the application development, yeah, Maven will generate artifacts. Enterprise archive file means so enterprise level, right? So thousands of requests, thousands of millions of yeah, thousands millions of requests will be happened in a minute, right? So that is enterprise level, right? So in enterprise level, it will generate ER, enterprise archive file. So based on the requirement, Maven will generate respective artifact. Okay. So for example, this Maven generated war file. Okay. Once the Maven generated the war file, this war file will be given back to the Jenkins. So Jenkins will push that war file to the application server. We can deploy war file on application server. Clear, right, everyone? Up to here it is clear, right? So in real-time projects, SDLC process will be happened like this. Any questions up to here, anyone? Anyone having any questions up to here? Anyone having any questions here? All in case.
So Ram, I had a question. So where will this mobile development, application development will fall under?
Yeah, mobile application also we can access through internet, right? Am I correct or not?
Yeah.
That is also warfare, right? Right?
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? Others? In this flow, anyone having any questions here? Fine. Yeah. Fine. So here, desktop application, Maven generates jar file. Web application, Maven generate war file. Enterprise application, Maven generates ER file. So based on the requirement, based on the application, so Maven will generate the respective format, right? So that war file, we can, it will give back to Jenkins. Jenkins will push that war file to application server, Tomcat server, or any application server like JBoss server, WebLogic server, WebSphere server, right? Yeah. So once it is moved to the application server, that war file will be deployed onto application server, right? So here, whatever raw code we received from GitHub to Jenkins, so that is unstructured code, unformatted code, right? That will be converted to one single file, archive file, by using Maven. For example, in your laptop, you have 100 documents are there, 100 PDF documents are there. I asked you to send those documents to me. What is the simplest way to send those documents to me? How can you send that? Anyone? How can you send that documents to me? What is the simplest way? Anyone? Instead of attaching all the documents, what we will do, we can convert into GIF format, right? And attach to the email and send it across, right? So the same process, same thing will be happen in the server level only. So this Maven also, Maven server. So Maven, what it will do, it will take the raw code and convert into one artifact as a single file, war file, jar file, or ER file, that will give back to Jenkins. Jenkins will push that war file to application server. Here we deploy the war file or jar file or ER file, right? Clear, right, up to here, everyone? Yeah. So it is fine. Developer develop the code. They push the code to remote repository. From here, we can take the, we can pull the code from GitHub to Jenkins by using Jenkins. We trigger the job. So Maven will convert into artifact as a single file and deploy onto application server. So that is fine. But where the testing will be happen? where the testing will be happen, right? So that is very important, right? So before deploying onto production or any other environments, what we will do in real-time projects, what testers will do, they test the code, right? They review the code, right? Fine. Yeah. So we have another tool which is we can say for testing we have another tool which is we can say Sonar code review tool. Testers test the code by using unit test cases or Selenium test or whatever. So after that, so here there is a code review tool which is a Sonar code review tool. What is Sonar code review? What it will do, right? So Sonar code review it is a tool. It will review the entire code. So every organization, every project team, they maintain some code standards, right? So this Sonar code review also we can integrate with the Jenkins by installing plugin. Okay, here Tomcat also by installing plugin we can integrate. Here Maven also we install one plugin to integrate Tomcat here. So every tool when you want to integrate with the Jenkins, we need to install plugin here. Once you install plugin, then Jenkins will start communicating with the respective tool, right? Yeah, Sonar Code Review tool is a tool where the code will be reviewed, right? So in Sonar Code Review, developers what they will do, they create some metrics. What is metric? So it's a rule, right? So any duplicate lines are there, any they create metrics for duplicate lines, and errors and issues and fixes. Okay, so developer, this is completely developer tool. Source code review tool and Git and GitHub, these are all completely developer tools. Okay, so developers what they will do, they create metrics. As for the metrics, source code review the code, right? For example we have a website which is Flipkart, right? So this application also developed by someone, development team developed this application, right? So yeah, before deploying onto production, what they will do, they do testing, right? The application is running properly or not, the duplicate lines are happening, duplicate lines are available, or errors are occurred in this, or else any issues are happened. So before deploying onto production, what they will do, they test the application by using Sonar code review or different code review tools, and also they deploy onto pre-prod first. Before deploying onto production, they deploy onto pre-prod. Once it is successfully running, they can finally deploy onto production. For example, here we have different microservices are there here. These are all microservices. We can say these are all microservices. Okay. So here, for example, yeah, for example, these are the microservices, different microservices. Okay. So in the code, whatever code developed by developers, in that code, if any duplicate lines are there, what will happen? This pricing will show you two times. This pricing will show you two times. This product will show you two or three times. This products will show you, yeah, two or three times. And also when you click on the product, that will give you errors. When you click on the product, that will give you errors because errors duplicate lines, right? So that is why testing should be happened in the environment, in the project. Testing is mandatory. So without testing, the code will not be moved to next level, right? So here, once the testers work on the by using unit test cases, Selenium testing, or manual testing, or automation testing, they perform the activities. After that, yeah, the code will be reviewed by Sonar code review tool. Once the Sonar is reviewed, then the war file will be pushed to the next level. Understanding, right, everyone? Fine, clear, right, everyone? Yeah, normally So this we can say SDLC, or we can say build and release process. Build and release process. Okay, normally every development team, every organization, every project team, they are using agile methodology currently, right? So if they required agile, if they want to integrate agile, if they want to build agile, they required a git, a github, Jenkins, maven, and sonar code review tool, and application servers or web servers, right? So currently most of the project teams, 99% of the project teams, they are using agile because quicker development, right? So one application, for example, we have one application development is there, one requirement is there, that should be completed as per the timeline sprint. So we can create 1 month sprint or 1 week sprint. Within that time sprint, that should be completed. It is very faster currently. The process is very faster. That is why every organization, every project team, they're using agile only. So in our project, so 7 years back, 8 years back, our team size 180 members, 180 members, right? So currently our team size is very less count, 30 members only, 30 members. Okay, because of agile methodology and parallel development. So we are using advanced tools also. Along with these tools, we have another tools also, which are like we have other tools which are like Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform. Along with this, we have monitoring tools, Grafana, Prometheus. So Prometheus, yeah. So different tools are there, right? Yeah. So these are all very advanced tools, right? So along with these tools, we have advanced tools also. Okay. So by using these tools, we can, yeah, we can perform automation activities. We can automate single click deployments, right? Containerization, orchestration, infrastructure automation. These are all we can perform using these tools, right? So what is Ansible? What Ansible will do? So before going to Ansible, any questions up to here, anyone? Any questions up to here, anyone? Any questions, anyone? Is it clear to you, everyone? So this process is very, very important before going to live sessions, practical sessions, practical oriented sessions. First, we need to understand this SDLC, Agile methodology. So that is why. So Agile will be repeated again. So when we talk about, when we work on Git and GitHub. So by the time, so Agile, one more time I recap all these things. Okay. Clear, right, everyone? Yeah. Fine. Now, so Ansible, what is Ansible? We discussed already about Ansible, right? What is Ansible? Ansible is a Ansible is a configuration management tool. Ansible is a configuration management tool. It is a configuration management tool, right? So the name itself, configuration itself, it is saying some configurations, right? Yeah. So this tool is very, very powerful tool, very efficient tool. So most of the project teams, they are using Ansible to automate any activity like deployments, code movement, code merging, code pushing, code pulling, right? And share folder creation, IP reservations, right? So whatever day-to-day activities we are performing manually, those we can do in automated way by using Ansible. Ansible is a tool, so where we automate all the activities, entire activities. So by single click, we can deploy the code. By single click, we can deploy a number of applications. By single click, we can merge the code. We can push the code. We can pull the code, right? Yeah. So Ansible is very advanced tool. So Ansible is a Red Hat product. Red Hat product. Okay. Yeah. So by using Ansible, Yeah, so we can for example, every day morning, every day early morning, 5 a.m., the sprint should be deployed. The sprint should be, the sprint changes should be deployed. So what we will do in Ansible, we can schedule that. So automatically that will trigger exactly as per the schedule. Okay. Yeah, so next one is Docker. What is Docker? Docker is a container tool. Container tool. What is container? Anyone? In general, what is container? Container is just like box. Container, it is a box. That box we can move anywhere, we can use anywhere, right? So this Docker is advanced to virtual servers. Docker containers are advanced to virtual servers, right? So currently we are using cloud servers, right? AWS servers, but Docker is very advanced one. So whatever digital applications are there, like Flipkart, Amazon shopping site, Myntra, Meesho, these are all applications we hosted on Docker. So currently when we book any product, right, like online shopping, so when we book any groceries, we can receive within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, right? Within 10 minutes they are delivering, because of backend they have Docker containers. So when we place the order, so immediately that will be processed. So recently I booked one mobile which is latest mobile, so OnePlus mobile. So they deliver within 4 hours. They deliver within 4 hours, right? Normally they take 1 week, 1 week or 4 5 days. They deliver within 4 hours. So that was processed immediately, and they receive the request, they processed, and they deliver. They take the product from their local warehouse and they delivered. Okay. Yeah. So because backend we have a Docker containers are there. So we have Docker containers which are very lightweight, standalone, very faster. So online shopping, everyone used in lockdown time. Everyone used online, right? So because of Docker and Kubernetes. Fine. Yeah. Next one is Kubernetes. What is Kubernetes? What is Kubernetes? These are all the tools we can integrate. We can work on these tools, right? So in SDLC, these tools also will help you to manage the deployments and all. That is what we're discussing here. Okay. Yeah. So Kubernetes is a container orchestration tool. Container orchestration tool. It is a container orchestration tool, right? What is orchestration? Anyone? What is orchestration? Anyone having idea? Orchestration. Anyone having idea? What is orchestra? Anyone having idea? What is orchestra? Orchestra. So group of instruments, right? Together they play, right? Instruments. So in between that instruments, one person will stand and move the hands, right? He is the orchestration. He will control. He will control all the instruments. He control all the yeah all the players, right? Yeah. So here Kubernetes is a orchestration tool. It will control all the node servers. Will control all the applications. So which is a Kubernetes is advanced to Docker. Kubernetes is advanced to Docker, right? Next one is Terraform. Terraform. What is Terraform? Terraform is a infrastructure automation tool. Infrastructure automation tool. So by using Terraform, what we will do, we can automate the infrastructure. So by using Terraform, we can create 1,000 servers within a minute, within a 1 minute, with all configurations, all packages, all softwares, everything. So by using Terraform, we can create 1,000 servers within a 1 minute, right? So Terraform is very advanced tool, very core tool. So by using Terraform, we can manage infrastructure. We can operate the infrastructure. Fine. Yeah. So these are all very advanced tools. If you are good in Kubernetes, you can easily crack your entry. If you are good in only Kubernetes, you can easily crack your entry. you get very good offers, you get very good calls, right? Along with Kubernetes, you required AWS platform, and also you required some knowledge on Git and Jenkins. Not only Kubernetes, Git and Jenkins knowledge required along with that Kubernetes, right? So Kubernetes is having very high demand currently because every organization, every like not only IT industry, every industry, chemical industry, medical industry, automobile industry, right? Everywhere Kubernetes is using because Kubernetes is very core tool, advanced tool to manage the applications, right? Yeah, so Docker and Kubernetes are very advanced tools, and even Ansible, Terraform also very advanced tools. Currently, yeah, Kubernetes is having high demand. So even packages also, how much you want, you can ask, we are ready to give, but we need to be strong on the, we need to be strong in technical, right? So yeah, Kubernetes salary is also very good currently. One of my ex-colleague moved to HSBC recently. He got very good package. He got 42 lakhs package, right? So package is also very good. So everyone should focus on Kubernetes. So this Git, Jenkins, Maven, this these are all also very important. Along with this, Kubernetes is very very important, right? Yeah. Next one is Grafana. It is a Grafana is a monitoring. Grafana and yeah, Prometheus both are monitoring tools. But in Grafana, what we will do, we create dashboards. We create dashboards. So this Prometheus is a pure monitoring. This is monitoring, Kubernetes monitoring. So normally for Kubernetes, we use this graph, Prometheus. Normally, Kubernetes, we monitor using Prometheus and Grafana. Okay. Yeah. These are the tools we are going to work on. These are all the tools, right? Every tool will go deep dive. So not only installation configuration. So Git and GitHub will take 5 days, 5 hours, nearly 5 to 6 hours it will take. Git and GitHub, right? So Jenkins will go deep dive. This will take 8 hours nearly, eight more than that. Okay. So and every tool. So Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform. These tools we go very deeper. Okay. Yeah. So every tool will go deep dive. Fine. So this is the SDLC process. Every development team, every project team, they are following the SDLC to automate the activities by using yeah, Agile methodology. They are deploying the code on target servers. Fine. Clear, right, everyone? Yeah. So from tomorrow onwards, regular sessions will be started. So tomorrow we are going to start the basics like servers, networks, switches, routers. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we are going to work on basics. So after that, so we'll jump into AWS from fifth onwards. Fifth onwards, AWS will be started. Fifth onwards, AWS will be started. Yeah, so AWS will take nearly 40 days, 40 hours, not 40 days, 40 hours. If you work on every day 1 hour, it will take 40 working hours. If you work on 1.5 hour per day, yeah, it will complete within 1 month, right? Yeah, so we'll go deep dive AWS. Most of the servers, sorry, most of the services we are going to work on monitoring services, storage services, networking services, right? And also, yeah, EKS, cloud formation, EC2, whatever advanced services are there. So all the services will be covered, right? So after that, we'll jump into DevOps. So between that, so once we start working on AWS, after a few sessions, Linux will be covered. Linux and shell scripting will be covered, right? So once complete the AWS, then we'll jump into DevOps, and so nearly 18 projects will be covered in our course. Nearly 18 projects will be covered. So all the projects are real-time projects. Okay, nearly 18 projects. Fine. So in real-time projects, whatever activities you perform, same activities we can perform in our practice session, right? In our class, right? In your practice console. So everyone required one laptop and internet connectivity. That's it. We don't need to install any package on your laptop. So all the packages we install on AWS only, AWS servers only. So how to create AWS account? How can we connect AWS account? How can we work on AWS account? How can we deploy all the tools? I explain all these things from scratch. Fine. Clear, right, everyone? Yeah. So tomorrow, yeah, today also same link we allowed, right? So tomorrow onwards link will be changed. Tomorrow onwards, link will be completely changed. So whoever not registered so far, you can register and you can add into WhatsApp group. Fine. So tomorrow onwards, so the link will be changed, right? So tomorrow we have a basic session, servers, networks, right, which are very important. So before going to cloud, you need to understand basics: servers, networks, firewalls, load balancers, right? IP addresses, subnet masks, gateways, routing tables. These are all very important. Public IP, private IP, elastic IP. So if you understand the basics, you can easily understand in cloud. You can easily understand cloud environment, right? So before going to cloud, we need to understand terminology and basics. Clear, right, everyone? Yeah. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Else, we can wind up. Yeah. Someone asking about can we use office laptop? You can use office laptop also, but sometimes that will restrict. Firewall will be there, right? Yeah. So fee payment link. So can you ping me in the WhatsApp? I'll share with you. My number already shared with you, right? 96422111711. You can say hi. I share with you the fee details, fee link, institute account link. I'll share with you so that you can make. So already WhatsApp group created and added the people are added into WhatsApp group, right? Yeah. If you are interested, so we have not registered so far. You can make the fee and share the screenshot so that I'll add into WhatsApp group. Fine. Yeah. We can wind up here. Any other questions, anyone?